The Deep Dive. Keith Urban's It's a Love Thing, 1999 Chart History and Country Discography.
Join us for a deep dive into Keith Urban's 1999 country single, It's a Love Thing. We unpack the Wikipedia sources to explore its debut on the Billboard Hot Country Singles and Tracks chart, its unique statistical position in Urban's extensive discography, and its legacy as his first American release. Discover songwriting credits with Monty Powell, music video premieres on CMT, and a complete look at its chart history up to 2018. Whether you're a country music fan or chart history buff, this analysis reveals the foundation of a superstar's career. Keywords: Keith Urban, It's a Love Thing, 1999 country music, Billboard Hot Country Charts, Monty Powell, Capital Nashville, country music discography.
Welcome to another deep dive. We are so glad you're joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Whether you're, grabbing a coffee or maybe settling into a long commute, or you just love unpacking these hidden stories buried in music history.
You are in the right place.
Exactly. You are in the exact right place.
Yeah.
Because today we're focusing on a very specific, a really pivotal slice of country music history.
A really fun one.
Yeah. We are looking at the foundational data, specifically the Wikipedia page for Keith Urban's 1999 single, It's a Love Thing.
And we have a brilliant stack of source material to work with today.
We really do.
We're looking at the raw metadata of this song, the Billboard chart performance, the release strategy that Capital Nashville put together, and this really comprehensive mapping of his entire discography that stems directly from this one specific release.
Right, because the mission for our deep dive today is to take a track that is officially categorized as just a 1999 country song stub on Wikipedia.
Just a tiny blip.
Right, and we want to uncover the massive story hidden within its timelines, its production credits, and its chart run. We want to see how these seemingly dry numbers basically serve as the blueprint for what becomes a multi-decade musical empire.
It's amazing what you can find when you actually look at the data.
It is. Because looking through these sources, there is this one mind-boggling statistic that completely hooked me.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
Right. How does a song that peaked at number 18 become the absolute ultimate proof of an artist's staggering success?
It's a brilliant paradox, really.
Yeah.
When you just see a number 18 peak in the grand scheme of a massive superstar's career, it's so easy to assume that's just a forgotten footnote.
Right, like a warm-up.
Exactly. But when you contextualize that number 18 peak against the 2 decades of music that followed it, it actually reveals an unprecedented level of industry dominance.
It's wild.
It is the exception that completely defines the rule.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to truly understand the weight of that number 18 peak, we need to go back to the very beginning. We need to look at the blueprint of an American debut.
Let's lay out the facts.
Yeah, the basic foundational facts. It's a Love Thing. Was released on May 27, 1999. It clocks in at exactly 3 minutes and 41 seconds.
This sweet spot.
The absolute sweet spot for radio. And it was the first single from his first American self-titled album, simply called Keith Urban, released under the Capital Nashville label.
And we really have to set the stage for what Capital Nashville was looking at in May of 1999.
Oh, it was a totally different world.
A juggernaut of an era. You have Shania Twain shattering global records. You have Faith Hill, Tim McGraw, the Dixie Chicks.
Massive crossover appeal happening.
Huge. Country was crossing over into mainstream pop culture in a way it rarely had before. And into this hyper-competitive, high-stakes environment, Capital drops an introductory single for an Australian guitar player.
Right.
And an eponymous album, a self-titled album, is traditionally a handshake with the audience. It says, "This is my core identity."
And slapping that Capital Nashville logo on it tells country radio, hey, this isn't some fringe indie project. We're backing this.
Exactly. There is heavy institutional weight behind this 3-minute and 41-second handshake.
And it's a tight handshake. But what really stands out in the text and the liner notes is the creative team behind that runtime.
Yes.
Keith Urban didn't just walk into a vocal booth and sing a demo tape that Capitol handed to him.
No, he didn't.
He co-wrote the track with Monty Powell, and he co-produced it with Matt Rawlings.
What's fascinating here is the level of creative control that implies right out of the gate.
It's huge.
Normally, when a label brings a new artist into the Nashville machine for a debut, they pair them with a highly controlled ecosystem.
Right. They want a guaranteed return on investment.
Exactly. They use the hitmakers of the day and they guide the artist. But Urban's name is firmly planted in the songwriting credits alongside Monty Powell.
And Monty was already a heavy hitter.
Oh, absolutely. writing for Diamond Rio, Tracy Bird, and then on the production side, he's working alongside Matt Rawlings.
The legendary session guy.
Right, a keyboardist who had worked with everyone from Lyle Lovett to Mark Knopfler.
So Urban is steering the ship. He isn't just a vocal instrument being molded by executives. He's the architect of his sound.
From day one of his American career.
From day one. And that leads to a piece of data in the singles chronology section of the Wikipedia page that honestly stopped me in my tracks.
The gap.
The gap. If you look at his release history, his previous solo single before It's a Love Thing was a track called Got It Bad, which came out in 1991.
1991.
1991. That is an 8-year gap between singles.
It's almost unheard of.
How does a label even market a guy whose last official single came out 8 years prior?
Well, they don't market the past. They completely reframe him.
Oh, okay.
That 8-year gap is one of the most brutal but fascinating aspects of his story. The source specifically notes this 1999 track is from his first American album.
Right.
Which implies that the 1991 release belonged to a totally different era, a pre-American era.
He was basically a kid releasing music as an Australian country artist.
Exactly. But breaking into the American market, specifically the fortress of 90s Music Row in Nashville, required stripping that all down and starting over.
Right.
He moved to Nashville, and those 8 years were spent entirely in the trenches.
Playing guitar in a band called The Ranch, doing session work. I mean, think about that for a second. If you're listening right now, imagine working at something for 8 whole years between major public milestones.
The resilience required is staggering.
It really is. 8 years of just grinding in the background while other people get the spotlight.
But it changes how you view this 1999 debut.
Totally.
When we look at a superstar's discography, we usually see a continuous upward trajectory. But this gap represents reinvention.
He was shedding his past.
Yes, navigating the failure of his band, painstakingly building a foundation. So by the time May 1999 rolls around, he's not a naive newcomer. He intimately understands how Nashville works.
Which means this America debut was a highly calculated strike.
Precisely.
And you can see that calculation in the visual release strategy. The audio drops on May 27th, and the text shows the music video, which was directed by Tom Oliphant, premiered on national television just 4 days later on May 31st.
4 days.
4 days. On CMT.
And we have to remember the cultural weight of CMT in 1999.
Pre-YouTube.
Pre-streaming, pre-social media. CMT was the absolute kingmaker. If you wanted the country music audience to know who you were, you had to be on CMT.
Heavy rotation.
Exactly. To have the audio shipped to radio on a Thursday and the video premieres on television the very next Monday is an aggressive, coordinated media push by Capital.
They want people to hear this guitar-heavy sound and immediately associate it with his face.
Right.
But what's really clever is the specific program CMT used to debut it. The text notes it premiered during a program called the CMT Delivery Room.
Which is such a telling detail.
Isn't it?
The title itself, Delivery Room, suggests a specialized platform designed to literally birth or introduce new music to the world.
Like, look at this brand new baby artist we just delivered.
Exactly. It frames the video not just as a standard addition to a daily playlist, but as an exclusive event.
They're telling the audience, pay attention to this guy.
It's the visual handshake to match the audio handshake.
It's a masterclass in marketing. You have the radio push, the high-profile TV premiere, the pedigree of his co-writers and producers. Everything is perfectly aligned for a massive overnight explosion.
But
then we get to the actual numbers.
a reality check.
We enter the chart mechanics phase of the story, and the performance of It's a Love Thing is a fascinating study in chart anomalies.
The data tells a very different story than the marketing setup.
It really does. Because the text shows the song debuted at number 73 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles and Tracks chart.
Right.
And it did that during the week of August 28, 1999.
August 28th?
But it didn't reach its peak position of number 18 until the year 2000.
Which is wild when you look at the timeline.
Walk us through that timeline.
Released in May 1999, it takes 3 entire months just to debut on the chart at number 73 in late August.
3 months just to enter the chart.
Yes, and then it doesn't peak until 2000.
Yeah.
This indicates a very slow, methodical, agonizing climb up the charts.
It wasn't an overnight hit at all.
Not even close. It required months of sustained promotion. This is the hallmark of the late 90s country radio tour.
With the legendary radio tour.
It's an endurance test. Driving from secondary market to secondary market in a van,
Waking up at 5 a.m.
playing acoustic versions in a cramped radio station lobby, begging a program director to add the song to light rotation.
And taking 7 or 8 months just to peak at number 18 means they fought for every single spin.
Every single one.
It's trench warfare. And the Wikipedia source gives us a couple of other chart appearances that are super interesting.
Let's hear them.
It hit number 25 on the Canada Country Tracks chart, published by RPM, and it hit number 5 on the U.S. Bubbling Under Hot 100 chart.
Ah, the bubbling under chart.
Yeah, what does that actually mean?
Well, the Billboard Hot 100 is the mainstream all-genre chart, right? The biggest songs in the country.
Right.
The bubbling under chart tracks the 25 songs sitting right below number 100 that haven't crossed over yet.
So hitting number 5 on Bubbling Under means?
It means It's a Love Thing was effectively the 105th most popular song in America.
So close.
Simmering right below the surface of mainstream awareness, but it couldn't quite break the ceiling.
Bubbling Under perfectly encapsulates where he was at this exact moment because, and here's where it gets really interesting.
Here comes the stat.
The most staggering stat from the text. This song, this number 18 hit, is Keith Urban's lowest charting single to date.
It's incredible.
It is his first single to miss the top 10 on the Billboard Hot Country Chart and his first not to enter the Billboard Hot 100.
Let's really analyze the massive implication of that sentence.
Please do.
If a song that peaked at number 18 is an artist's lowest charting single, it means every other standard single they released performed better.
Every single one.
For most artists, hitting number 18 is a massive career triumph. For Keith Urban, number 18 is the absolute floor.
It's the worst he ever did.
Yes, and the text notes it would be his only single to miss the top 10 until 2018.
2018, when a song called Female reached number 12.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you are looking at a nearly 2-decade streak.
And 18 years.
Continuous top 10 hits, making this 1999 underperformer the exception that proves the rule of an almost unprecedented run of chart dominance.
It's almost difficult to comprehend. From 2000 to 2018, the industry changed completely. We went from CDs to iPods to streaming.
And he never dropped out of the top 10.
Unbelievable. It makes you look at that agonizing, slow climb to number 18 completely differently. They were laying the foundation for a skyscraper.
They absolutely were.
And we can actually see the blueprint of that skyscraper in the discography section of the article. It maps out the legacy that followed this 1999 debut, and it is a massive output of work.
A sprawling discography.
Sprawling is the perfect word. Just tracing the progression of the album titles is fascinating. We start with the self-titled Keith Urban in '99.
The introduction.
Right. But then the very next album is Golden Road.
That title alone radiates momentum.
It does. Then Be Here. Then Love, Pain, and the whole crazy thing. Defying Gravity. Get Closer.
It just keeps going.
Fuse. Ripcord. Graffiti You, The Speed of Now Part 1. And High.
The sheer volume of output is incredible, and you can see the artistic evolution in those titles.
How so?
Well, you go from the optimism of Golden Road to the absolute commercial peak of Be Here, and then once the streak is established, you get Love, Pain, and the whole crazy thing.
A much more vulnerable, complex title.
Exactly. He's secure enough to take risks. And as you get into titles like Fuse and Ripcord, he's experimenting with pop producers, actively pushing the boundaries of the country format.
And the list of actual hits fueling those albums is relentless. The text highlights specific tracks that followed right in the wake of It's a Love Thing.
Of follow-ups.
Yeah. Just from that first album, he followed up with You're Everything.
Top 10.
But for the grace of God.
Top 10.
And where the blacktop ends. Based on the rule we just established, we know those all smashed.
Yeah.
The momentum flip was instantaneous.
And it continued for decades.
Yeah.
The sheer volume of subsequent singles from Somebody Like You to Blue Ain't Your Color.
Oh, Blue Ain't Your Color was massive.
A huge, moody, bluesy smash, all the way up to One Too Many. It illustrates the incredible momentum that began with this modest 1999 single.
What's really cool is looking at the collaborative songs category in the text.
This is a great section.
It notes titles like America the Beautiful, classic covers like Lean on Me, and massive crossover tracks like Highway Don't Care.
Showcasing a massive expansion in breadth.
Right. The guy who started with a fiercely protected solo debut, co-writing and co-producing everything just to prove himself, eventually expands into these major multi-artist collaborative events.
It's the ultimate luxury of success. Once you build the fortress, you can go play in anyone's sandbox.
He became an elder statesman of the genre.
Exactly.
And I think there's a really valuable takeaway here for you, the listener. If you look at your own long-term projects, your own career or passions, do the early number 18s in your life look small now?
That's a great point.
Right. Even though they were the necessary brutal stepping stones to your top tens, we tend to judge our early efforts so harshly.
But without that number 18, there is no streak.
Exactly. So what did this all mean? As we wrap up this deep dive, we started with a look at a Wikipedia stub for a 1999 country song called It's a Love Thing.
Just a few paragraphs of text.
Right. And from that, we uncovered the story of an 8-year gap between singles, a slow-climbing trench warfare chart debut, and a statistical anomaly that highlights an 18-year streak of top 10 dominance.
It really recontextualizes the whole thing.
It means that sometimes the most important piece of an artist's history isn't their biggest hit. It's the foundation they laid right before the explosion.
The friction that builds the fire.
Beautifully said.
I want to leave the listener with one final provocative detail from the text.
Oh, please do.
At the very bottom of the source material, there's a tiny standard Wikipedia note. It says, "This 1999 country song-related article is a stub. You can help Wikipedia by adding missing information."
Wow.
It begs a fascinating question. We just spent this entire time dissecting how a song launched a multi-decade record-breaking career.
The genesis of an empire.
Right. And if that song is still considered an incomplete stub in the grand encyclopedia of human knowledge,
Yeah.
how much more undiscovered history is hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to care enough to fill in the blanks?
What an incredible thought to end on. There's so much history hiding in the metadata of the world. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep seeking out those hitter stories, keep unpacking the data, and we will see you next time.